You already know what you're capable of. And honestly, that's what makes it hurt even more. Because this isn't just insecurity. It's not false humility. It's not some vague feeling in the back of your mind. You feel it in very specific moments. When you watch someone doing exactly what you know you could do. When someone says something that reflects the level of thinking you know you're capable of, but never seem to apply yourself. When you're alone at night, and the gap between who you are and who you could become becomes impossible to ignore. You know it's there. The intelligence, the talent, the vision, whatever you want to call it. And the worst part is, you're no longer confused why it hasn't happened yet. You're haunted by it. Because you've already tried the obvious solutions. More discipline, more routines, more productivity systems, more books, more strategies, more motivation. You've learned, planned, prepared, and still something inside you refuses to move the way it should. Because the real problem was never that you needed more. The biggest lie you've believed is this, that the gap between who you are and who you could become is a gap of addition. That if you just learn one more thing, gain one more skill, find one more strategy, then suddenly your potential will unlock. But that's not true. You don't need more added on to you. You need parts of yourself destroyed. Carl Jung spent his life studying why people fail to become who they truly are, and what he discovered was brutal. People don't stay trapped because they lack potential. They stay trapped because they refuse to destroy the parts of themselves that are blocking it. The masks, the false beliefs, the identities, the fears, the survival habits, all the things you built to protect yourself. At one point, those things helped you survive. They helped you fit in, avoid pain, stay safe. But what protects you long enough eventually imprisons you. And the most dangerous prisons are the ones you mistake for home. So if you want your true potential to emerge, there are parts of you that must die. Not improve, not weaken, not manage. Die. Because real transformation doesn't happen slowly. It happens when the old version of you collapses. The first thing that must die is the version of yourself you perform for everyone else. Most people spend their whole lives pretending to be who they're expected to be. Pretending to fit the role people gave them, pretending to want what others told them to want. Jung called this the persona, the mask you wear to function in society. And the problem isn't wearing a mask. The problem is forgetting it's a mask. Because when the mask becomes your identity, you stop living from who you are and start living for who others expect you to be. Every opinion you hide, every desire you suppress, every part of yourself you bury just to keep being accepted, it slowly kills who you really are. And the sign this is happening? Exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, soul exhaustion, the kind that comes from constantly managing how you're perceived, from waking up every day deciding who you need to pretend to be. You've been performing for so long, you forgot what the real you even looks like. The only way to break that? Start doing things the mask wouldn't allow. Speak your real opinion. Show the vulnerability you hide. Disappoint people's expectations. Stop being the version of yourself everyone else feels comfortable with. Because if people only love the mask, then they never loved you. The second thing that must die is your obsession with perfection. Perfectionism is not ambition. It's self-hatred disguised as standards. Somewhere inside you lives an image of who you think you should be. More disciplined, more successful, further ahead, more consistent. And every day that image judges you. That voice in your head constantly reminding you, you should be better by now. But here's the truth. That image was never yours. It was built from comparison, from expectations, from what others praised, from what society told you success should look like. And you've spent your whole life torturing yourself, trying to become someone you were never meant to be. That perfect version of you, kill it, because you are not failing to become that person. You were never supposed to be them. The third thing that must die is your addiction to control. Planning is not progress. Sometimes planning is just fear wearing a suit. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I'm ready. I just need more preparation, one more piece of information. But deep down, you're stalling. Because if you never fully try, then you never risk finding out what happens if your best isn't enough. And that's terrifying. As long as your potential stays untested, it stays perfect in your imagination. The moment you act, it becomes real, judgeable, vulnerable. That's why you overthink everything. Because action risks exposing reality, and reality is scarier than fantasy. The fourth thing that must die is your victim mindset. Yes, painful things happened to you. Yes, life was unfair. Yes, people hurt you. But pain may explain where you are. It does not excuse staying there forever. Because the moment your pain becomes your identity, you stop healing and start hiding inside it. You start believing, this happened to me, therefore I can't. That belief destroys more lives than failure ever will. Because every time you blame your circumstances, you give your power away with it. The fifth thing that must die is your fear of success. Most people don't fear failure. They fear what happens if they actually succeed. Because success changes everything. It changes relationships. It changes expectations. It changes how people see you. It forces you to step into responsibility, visibility, pressure. And part of you fears that, because staying mediocre keeps you safe. If you never fully try, you never fully risk. The sixth thing that must die is your loyalty to the life you've outgrown. Sometimes the biggest thing holding you back is the unconscious loyalty you have to your past, to your family's limits, to your old environment, to the version of you people are comfortable with. Because growing means leaving behind what no longer fits. And some part of you still fears that becoming more means losing people. But if your growth costs certain relationships, then maybe those relationships only loved the smaller version of you. And finally, the last thing that must die is the belief that who you are now is who you have to stay. You are not fixed. You are not permanent. You are not one identity trapped forever. The version of you reading this right now will one day be unrecognizable to the version you're becoming, if you're willing to let yourself change. But transformation requires death, not physical death, psychological death. The death of who you were, so who you're meant to be can finally emerge. Because the truth is, your potential has never been missing. It has only been buried under fear, buried under ego, buried under old identities, buried under everything you built to survive. And if you want to become who you're capable of being, you don't need to build more. You need to destroy what no longer belongs inside you. Because sometimes becoming your best self isn't about adding anything. It's about having the courage to kill everything you are not.